Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the Object 261. It's the Tier 10 Soviet SPG. It's located on the north spawn of Overlord, and it's under the command of YoMamas. Yes, and this is a pre-HD game. Yes, so it's 9.17.1 update. Game on. Well, Overlord does look still rather similar, but obviously it's more furniture in the HD map and it does look more detailed. But basically it's the same Arty, but with full power. Yes, Wargaming took most of the power out of the Object 261 and other Artys by nerfing them and bringing in stun. And you can see pre 9.18 it had 1700 alpha with the HE, and with the premium rounds it's 1100. Okay, he's looking down range for his first target. Okay, aiming for the E100, lining up the shot. Rounds out. Oh, that was a direct hit on the E50 for 1172 hit points of damage. Now, YoMamas does have a habit of moving or looking away after he shoots, which is why I have to take control of the camera. Otherwise, you wouldn't actually see the impacts that he's actually getting. Okay, we've got TVP in the bowl, but he's looking towards this Leopard 1 over on the other side of the battlefield. Trying to get a shot on him. Lined him up. Changes his mind because another couple of enemy tanks, including that TVP, came into sight. In fact, there's a whole bunch of them trying to cross into the bowl, including that Batchat 25T AP, which is a tier 9. He's going for the Centurion 7-1, but changes his mind. Now, the reason he is changing his mind is because the Object 261 doesn't have a whole lot of ammo. And if you fire your shots and miss, then you've wasted the entire round. Rounds out. Well, that hit the side of a Jaegeru for 927 hit points. Surprisingly, that's a non-penetrating shot, but it certainly did a huge amount of damage to that Jaegeru. Now, some top players, some Unicums, have actually suggested they much prefer to have no stun whatsoever in the game and just take a big hit from the enemy Arty. So if they increase the damage, then it would certainly make a big difference. Okay, we've got a Leopard there with fancy clothes. That was one of Rusty's skins. Certainly does look very pretty. Okay, T-54 lightweight instead. He's lined up. Rounds out. Well, don't think he got anything from that because nothing came up. Well, some very rude words are actually being spoken in chats about Arty. The AMX-50B is not being very friendly to us, especially since YoMamas is actually doing quite well. But unfortunately, it's Crampon suddenly coming to sight, and our teammates are rushing to try and get a shot on him, and he's gone. But he did spot us, so we do have to move, otherwise the enemy would get us. So he switched positions straight away, and now he's aiming for the enemy who's coming up the east side of the map. In fact, one of them's the Jaegeru, the other one's the TVP T5051. So good job that we did move away from the east side of the map, because otherwise we would have been out of this game. Okay, Jaegeru coming around the bunker. Or the gun emplacement, so to say it's not really a bunker. Oh my god, he got 1097 hit points off the Jaegeru with that shot. Okay, the enemy's really pushing at the moment. The score's 3-all, but they have control of the bowl. Lined up a shot on the Centurion. He's indicated his target, but he now wants to go for the AMX-50B. Oh, he foxed him there. It's causing him problems because he can't dial in fully. In the end, he decided not to fire, so that AMX-50B was very foxy. completely fooled YoMamas, and YoMamas was correct not to fire, because if he had, he would have wasted a shell, but he's lining up the shot on the AMX50, oh, the E50 rather, and he did hit him, but he only got a critical hit, so I suspect the shell actually hit the tracks. Okay, there's the Jaegeru. Only 8% left. Oh, and he goes down. T10 up near the position we once held. He's 100% health, actually. Now we're almost loaded, so we can go for it. Lined up. Rounds out. That's an Amarak. 1,800 hit points. One shot kill. T10 is back in the garage. That's what Arty used to be able to do. We used to be able to nuke a heavy tank with just one round. Even at tier 10. It was so nice back in those days. Okay, AMX50B making a run down towards the Chine. We've got a T54 lightweight coming up from the beach at the moment, so he's probably going to meet that AMX50B, which is not going to be a nice experience for the T54, but we do have an E4 moving in on that position. Meanwhile, over on this side of the map, on the east side of the map, the enemy's in a whole lot of trouble. I think they lost a lot of tanks, and now we're going for the Centurion. We're fully dialed in. That's a penetrating shot for 995 on the Centurion 7-1. A really good shot there from YoMamas. Right on target. Unfortunately, we did lose our AMX50B to their TVP T5051, but our E4 just took out their Object 261, so the enemy team doesn't have any Arty. In fact, they've only got 2 tanks left in the game, and that's a Leopard 1 and that TVP. Okay, the Leopard 1's coming in our direction, or he's actually going up the east side of the map at the moment, but he is now headed towards us. He wants us. Okay, lined up. Rounds out. One shot. 1,591 hit points, and that wins the game. That was a great result for YoMamas. Some of those enemy tanks, they just got absolutely nuked in this game. He got a first-class tanker. It's his first time getting a first-class tanker in the Object 261 in this game. He got an Amarak on the T10, so he got Demolition Expert for destroying a tank by blowing him up. He also got a Bruiser Medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 5 exactly. A Gauze Medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle. And the High Caliber for dealing the most damage in that game overall. His win rate, 10,357, which is super Unicum standard and a lot more. We look at some of these scores because it's actually rather nice seeing them. Look at that, 1,172 off the E50. He picked up 2,024 hit points and 2 penetrations on a Jaegeru. The T10 he nuked with one shot. 1,800 hit points, heavy tank gone. 1,117 off the T54 lightweight with a pen. And the Leopard 1, 1,591 hit points. That was the shot that won the game, and that was a penetration. And the Centurion 7-1 also took a pen during that game. 995 hit points. Not a huge amount, but it was a good shot nonetheless. So let's have a look at team scores. Well, he definitely got the highest damage with 8,699 hit points out of that one to YoMamas. Gauze Medal High Caliber. The next highest damage in the game went to the E50 on the enemy team with 3,057. And the third highest damage was the TVP T5051, who managed 2,993. When it came to kills, it was actually shared between the TVP T5051 on our team, the T110E4, and on the enemy team, their TVP T5051. And with 2 kills, we got YoMamas, the IS-4, and on the enemy team, their AMX50B and the Jaegeru. And we should notice the IS-4 also got a steel wall in that game. When it came to base XP, it was the IS-4 who came out best with 1,003 base, the only one to get over 1,000, with YoMamas getting 922 in his Arty and 808 going to the E4. He fired 8 shots, only 8 shots, but he got 8 direct hits on the enemy, so none of the shots missed. And he did get 7 penetrations as well. I think there was only one tank that he didn't pen. 8,699 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damaged 7 of the enemy, killed 2 of them. And the figures over here on credits and XP aren't showing the correct figures. That's mainly because we're using Salty Jedi on a replay from a long time ago. So even though he was on a premium account, it's actually showing that he actually suffered a loss. He didn't suffer a loss. He did make a profit, but it's just not showing the correct figures. So he did do very well. We do know that, but we just can't see exactly what he managed to get. But we do know he had a fantastic game, and you get to see that way back then, Arty really had some power. And yes, we could end enemy tanks with one good shot. And even tanks like the Jaegeru would actually fear an Arty, because an Arty could literally penetrate them if it got the right place. So very well played, some nice shots there, and some good hits. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.